you know, see what's happening.
What's happening?
With like you and Rick Flag or whatever.
I mean, he's a good guy. He's not gonna fuck around on me.
Oh,
What?
no, it's good that he doesn't do that. I've changed a lot since I last saw you.
Yeah, you seem less arrogant.
Yeah?
Sorry. I mean,
No. I've actually been working on that. Planning a lot of other stuff. What?
like your delts. I'm just waiting for you to say like your delts.
Always my delts, But seriously, stuff like how I push people away by being a dick. And just trauma that I've had with me my whole life but define me. What?
You really are different.
I am.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And this is going to be a spoiler-full podcast about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 3, entitled Another Rick Up My Sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Steve, what is that synopsis?
Well, it's while Peacemaker is lauded as a hero, the alternate dimension also enables him to explore the depths of his connection with Harcourt. Later, Economos catches heat for the team's bungled mission.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, this was a good episode. We were talking before we started recording that I'm still sorry. I got another. It's crazy. I just haven't been sleeping well, and
It's fine.
I fell asleep during the episode, not because it was boring, just because I'm just tired is all. But the episode was really, really good. I like seeing a different, and kudos to Jennifer Holland playing a different version. of Harcourt. Yeah. That it's subtle and small, and I'm looking forward to learning more and more about this other version of Harcourt. So it's going to be interesting to see. But it was very the what I noticed. We'll talk about when we get to our general discussion. But I really enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed seeing the other dimension, and I'm also interested to see what's going to happen now on the other side with Rooker's character coming in and looking like a part Indian or something. He's got the hat, very Tom Laughlin kind of look with that hat with the braid on it and talking about killing the Eagles. So I'm excited to see more of Michael Rooker going forward, and just really, really good.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the episode. I really liked what they were doing within the characters of each, because you have to realize we're working within two dimensions within this particular episode. The very beginning, we get Flag and Harcourt's relationship. And I thought, wow, we never knew that those two were together.
Yeah, and I had to go back and make sure I understood, because it's because you get confused because Joel Kinnaman, who's a great actor, played the character, but it's two different. So Suicide Squad was the one with
Harley Quinn.
Thank you. Yeah,
Will
Harley
Smith.
Quinn and Will Smith. Thank you. I was searching for the other actors. Was the one with Will Smith and Harley and Margot
And it
Robbie.
was the witch at that point that was the big issue.
Right.
And so he brings it up because he was involved with that person.
Right.
And he talks about that within this particular scene after they were in bed.
Hold on. Let me finish. Yeah, let me finish what I'm getting at here, because I'm completely different. I'm on a totally different point, because because I had to go back and look up so I could understand, because even though Suicide Squad, which is the Will Smith one, and The Suicide Squad, which is the John Cena one,
correct,
are two different movies. They're not they're not supposed to have been the same universe. I don't think. I mean, I don't think.
I think they decided they were part of the canon, but I think for the fact that, okay, we have this Rick Flag who is here that is part of that universe, and then we have Rick Flag Sr. And
that's totally separate. These are totally separate issues. What we're talking about here. I'm trying to get at, because I'm trying to understand the Joel Kinnaman character, the Rick Flag Jr. character.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the one I'm trying to understand. Because from what I read, they're subtly different, but I think they're supposed to be two different universes. From Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad. Now, maybe James Gunn is trying to retcon that and kind of bring them back together, like you said, with him mentioning the witch and stuff. So maybe they are trying to bring it back together to where it's all the one thing. But I did have to go back and remind myself that the Suicide Squad was 3 years. It was 2021.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, how these things were filmed. 3 years matches, the time frame matches for when Peacemaker killed Rick Flag Jr. in that, in that, because she talks about you're shipping out to Cordo Maltese, right, that morning or that day. So
that sets that up for the Suicide Squad.
Right. And so it kind of floored me a little bit trying to understand. And I guess maybe we're not meant to know. And like I said, you started to go in a little bit of a different direction than what I was trying to get at. I'm trying to figure out if this is not really, that doesn't matter a whole lot if he's trying to bring the universes together or not. I guess I don't know. It took me out of it for a minute. They're going back 3 years ago.
I know
because he went back, because they're going back to the 3 years ago in the prime dimension, okay, to showing us that Harcourt and Rick Flag Jr. were together prior to that Cordo Maltese operation, which, like you said at the beginning, we didn't know that. There's no hint of that in the Suicide Squad at all, that they were together. That she's never brought that up, as far as did anything come out in season 1 about, because you would think she would be a little salty. You would think she'd be a little salty. Oh, unless wait a minute. Now I'm trying to track this.
She was very adamant against Chris throughout the first season.
Right. But she never mentions that she and Flag were together.
No, she didn't.
And when he murdered him. But now wait a minute. Let me back this up and figure this out, because this is what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, because if the flashback we saw, if the 3 years earlier is the alt dimension, go with me on this, okay, is the alt dimension that had the same very similar events occur, then that does make sense that she's with Flag, and 3 years ago she was with Flag, and for whatever reason in the alt universe, Peacemaker didn't kill him. She doesn't say, because that's right. She just says that Flag is shipping out to Cordo Maltese, and then we see the events that have already been. So I don't know. Now, I don't know if the 3 years earlier flashback at the beginning of this episode is meant to be the prime Harcourt and Flag Jr. or
the other movie.
The alt. Yeah. Not the other movie. The alt. Let's just go with the alt. I'm going to take the movies out. I'm just taking the movies out of it completely at this point.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if that's the alt Harcourt, because then it still isn't clear. Yeah. There must have been a period of time when she and Flag broke up, because there's indications that she and Chris were together for a while in the alt universe. But he screwed around her. She talks about that fact that she doesn't want to start up with him again because he's just going to cheat on her, and that she's with Flag because he, quote, won't screw around on her.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe, I don't know. We'll have to,
it can make you go cross-eyed, everybody.
yeah, trying to figure out which version, this 3 years earlier, if that flashback is the Harcourt, the alt Harcourt, or the prime Harcourt. We don't know.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
I'm more leaning toward it being the alt Harcourt, just because she never mentioned having a relationship with Flag in the first season. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. I think that is part of what they're holding on to, is that she did have that relationship with Flag at that point, and that was why her harboring attitude and anger was towards Chris. And then during that time, that in between last season and this season, they got together and, you know, bumped uglies and did whatever they did. And
that's the prime. That's what I'm saying. That's
the prime world. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is that's where our confusion is.
And then I think with her in the alt universe, she was with Chris, but she was attracted to Flag at a certain point because he was just some sort of office worker at a certain point, and she got involved with him. And now Chris has to deal with that, but he wants to get back with her as being the Chris from this alt world.
I don't know. Again, we don't know. Again, now you're taking it into a whole nother direction because you're right, because we don't know what the Rick Flag Jr. of this world. We haven't seen him except we see this bumbling around
idiot, like in an office.
The office.
Oh, hi.
So maybe he's not the. I don't know. Maybe he's not the
jarhead.
He's not a Marine. She does say that. She says he was Army, not Marine. But
they use the word jarhead so easily, and it's probably Chris because he's stupid in the way he thinks of people and military. So he uses jarhead as a
derogatory term for
correct
for either kind of soldier, whether a Marine or an Army,
which is so stupid, honestly.
Yeah, it is, and it just doesn't. Again, maybe we're going to learn some more about this relationship between Harcourt and Flag Jr. in the alt versions. I don't know. It looks like I wonder if we're going to be switching back and forth full episodes.
I think they're going to wind up going through both within the season itself too, but to figure out what had happened originally with the original Suicide Squad as well as the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think, well, we definitely are going to see more. We've got to see more of the alt dimension because Chris twice in the episode, he says best dimension ever when he's being praised.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely being treated. He's being treated better in this alt dimension.
He is treated like a hero in this world,
the superhero that he wants to be, right? The superhero that he wants to be, and like when the guy says, "Is that the when he goes in to fight the terrorists?" The guy says to Harcourt, he says, "Oh, is that Peacemaker? Why isn't he in his costume or his uniform?"
Yeah, it's just Chris being who he is and just doing, and it's how he is in the other universe, and then everybody can't figure it out. Right. And then even Harcourt's like, from that dimension, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, she's definitely attracted.
Oh,
and like I said, it's so, and I guess we can talk about it now.
Yeah, good.
Is that again? I'm going to praise Jennifer Holland because it's very subtle between the way she dresses and just the way she carries herself. The fact that she seemed to smile a little bit more.
She's like an ordinary kind of gal in this world. And
the alt Harcourt is definitely brighter or a brighter
happier.
Sure. Yeah. We don't know. I mean, she still may be the fighter
within
that we have
her
in the prime. We don't know that. We haven't seen that. Just like you said with Flag Jr., we haven't seen him do that either in the alt version. But we can definitely see they're different they're different characters. It's and with her,
Yeah.
like I said, I was very impressed with the acting of her switching back and forth, and especially when we see her with Economist and Adebayo
Mhm.
in the prime dimension when she's wearing her all black, and she's definitely got a more hardened attitude, you
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah.
I take my hat off to her being able to play that. It's very subtle.
She's playing the levels of like different scales, like a
Mhm.
scale of like hardened or lighter of this character, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not
I
as
say this, listeners, I'm putting my hands up and down as a scale, and it goes
Mhm.
up and down, and that's the whole thing. It's like this character is strained between both worlds, but they are the same person. And
But, yeah, but I guess my point is if you watch, like, she's not a absolute different character. Like it's not
no, she's not.
it's not like if you watch Orphan Black,
Mm-hmm.
all to Tatiana Maslany and in Orphan Black, she was amazing in that, but she played all those characters were very different
Yeah.
people. There was none of them from my memory. It's been a while. I haven't rewatched it in a while. I need to go back and rewatch it.
I have to watch it. It's on Netflix, everybody. So go watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, I've actually still got the physical media from the original series. That I just haven't pulled them out in a while. But those characters were all very different.
Oh
people.
yeah,
All those clones were all very different characters, had different lifestyles, different lives. Everything was she didn't really have to do any kind of subtle acting. She was playing a completely different character with this, just who looked the same, but it was a completely different character. Whereas in this situation, you have Jennifer Holland playing the same character with subtle differences,
nuances that are there.
Exactly. That I think is amazing. And I think that's an even more impressive to me, that we can clearly see that from her demeanor, the way she walks, the way she talks.
Yes.
Everything is that subtle difference, to where we haven't seen her fight yet in the alt version. So we don't know if she's a fighter. We don't know if she's a fighter or not. So it's going to be interesting to see throughout the rest of the season how this works between these two, and as the relationship develops between her and Prime Chris, and then what happens when he goes back to, because obviously the end of the episode, the cliffhanger is he's returned to the Prime universe, and they're about to bust in his door, and who knows what's going to happen? Because there was one thing, maybe you can help me out, because whose house were they at when they woke up after the party? Because that
was his father's house that he has been living in.
It didn't look like the same set. It didn't. Maybe it was. It didn't look like the same set as his father's.
Was it Harcourt's apartment or condo?
That's the thing. I don't think it was. It couldn't have been Harcourt's, because Harcourt lived in an apartment. And when she walked outside, she said, "I'm going outside to get some air, some sun."
Yeah.
And she walked outside, and you saw those windows. Those windows. She went outside. That was a house. So that was either Vigilante's house, his mom's house. Because remember, they said he lives with his mom. So my theory is that was Vigilante's house that they were in, that we just didn't see his mom.
Okay.
Because or it was Economist's house. We don't know where Economist lives. I don't think she talked about that when Chris said something about, you don't usually host these things, and it was her apartment, and they went up to the roof, to party, and then he went. Maybe it was Chris's house. It just didn't look like. Maybe it was Chris's house, or it just didn't. But no, because
or is Chris's father's house? Yeah, we don't know.
He doesn't have. Chris doesn't have a house. Chris has a trailer.
He has a trailer.
We have not seen that trailer since he moved into his father's house
in season 1.
Right. So if it's his father's house, then that means they're there. No, I don't. It can't be Chris's. It can't be Chris's house. It's Chris's house now. So let's establish that.
You guys have to let us know what you think.
Yeah. If you think, whose house were they at when they woke up after the morning after the party, when Adebayo is on the couch, Harcourt is in the kitchen making breakfast, making coffee, grinding up coffee beans, and Adebayu's like, oh, I need some water. It wasn't Adebayu's house because Adebayu was in
a hotel,
a nasty hotel as well. So the only other house I can think of is that it was Vigilante's house, and we just didn't see his mom, because they said he lived with his mom. So it could have been Economist's house if we don't know for sure. So it could have been Economist's house since he was passed out in the bathtub, maybe
because he's so comfortable, and Adrian winds up pulling his pants off and washing them.
Yeah, there at the end. I again, like I said, I think I kind of slept through a little bit because I've been so tired. I didn't see until the second time watching that I saw the after credit scene where he pulls his pants off, and which explains why he didn't have any pants on when he came out of the bathroom. Why are your hands in my mouth? I'm checking for vomit.
It was very much like for the scenes for that. Anybody could have been like, what happened? How did he get his pants off? And then at the very end, you get the scene. You're like,
that's what I'm saying. Okay. It was funny. It was like, why are my pants off? Where are my pants? Yeah. So no, it was great. So that was the only thing. There was a few moments that took me out of it with that, because I'm just like, what location are they at? Because I don't think they're at Chris's house, because if they're at Chris's house, that means they're there when he comes back.
Correct.
And that means they're there when
everybody shows up at the very end.
So we'll see. We'll see next episode. We'll have to see if
we'll get all the answers answered at that point.
We'll see where they're at that point, probably. But again, I enjoyed it.
Did you with the fact that with Chris going into the other world and everything?
Yeah, I thought it was good to, like, again, I enjoyed seeing him treated as a hero. Yeah, as a hero, as people, that little kid crying when he crying out of joy.
Like, that's great. Okay, it's
I love you.
And then he goes, "That's awkward." And then the girl flashing him and going, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and then he was a little brutal. It's going to be interesting to see if that tracks with the alt version of Peacemaker, because he was a little brutal with those terrorists, but his brother did destroy the helicopter, killing the guys in the helicopter. So it's possible that they're that brutal. He was brutal, man. In that, that scene where he's attacking
was definitely Keith. Yeah, it was Keith.
No, Kevin. Kevin is the brother, but no, I'm talking about Chris when he's attacking the terrorists in the government build, the DMV.
Oh yeah,
there.
Chris was definitely brutal.
Oh yeah. He kills that guy with pencils, very John Wick, grabs the pencils and kills that guy it scrambles his brains. He doesn't just stab him with the pencils. He scrambles the guy's brains with the pencils to make sure that
it was having too much fun. Yeah.
So he was brutal in that. And then it was a little, I don't know, it was a little easy to disarm the bomb. Just pull the wires out.
It was way too easy. It looked like something out of something that we would do during pandemic times when we play Jackbox games and those little things.
Yeah, he just pulled a wire and then he pulled the other wire and it just stopped. He's just like, oh, okay.
That's it?
Okay. Did you stop the bomb? Yeah, man, of course I stopped the bomb. It's like, pulled the wires out. Like, that could have made the bomb go on. It seemed like that seemed a little anticlimactic to me. Just pulling the wires out. But also, if you ever watch Sherlock, there's also the side of bomb making where it is simple. They're not super complicated to disarm, because you don't want, if you have to do something to stop it. If you're the bad guys and you want to stop it, you want to be able to very easily stop it. So maybe, I don't know. It took me, it was a little anticlimactic for me that he pulled the wires out.
I think this is more humorous, but also giving a little niches within.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
Characters.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm not saying it took me. It didn't take me out of it that I don't like the episode anymore. No, it just made me. It was a little easy.
Yeah, it made me a little happy about Chris being happy about himself in this universe, and engulfing him and himself in this universe. Yeah, the fact that with the whole thing with Mustard, I can't stand mustard, everybody. I don't know about you,
Oh,
but
I
my
love
father,
mustard. I
my
love mustard.
I don't mind it at times, but the thing is my father loved mustard. That's the biggest difference between my father and myself. But the fact that she overdid it with the mustard and everything else, and I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah.
And something that goes on with hot dog carts and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, is that going to come up later on? We don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
it was nice to see. It was nice to see them on a nice little like a date, like a friend date, not a
yes,
like very not romantic, not pushing, and you can see the growth that Chris has had from the first season to now, and
Mhm.
even within his own life, and that obviously he's a different version, and they haven't, as far as we know, nobody has picked up on it yet that he's a different version
Oh
of
yeah,
the Chris. They're starting to suspect because she said something about, oh, she was when he said I'm working on that, and she's like, your delts, you mean? Like she was waiting for him to make some sort of douchey kind of arrogant comment, and he didn't do that.
yeah.
He goes, well, I'm always working on my delts, but I'm not. He could tell that the alt version of him was a dick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
And well, not that Chris himself is not a dick himself too.
No, he is in the prime universe. He is, but he's grown. He's grown
He's
in the
grown.
last
He's
in the
learned
last
a little
season.
bit
Yeah,
over the time. Yeah.
yeah, and so I think it's cool that we're going to see when obviously he's now he's back in the prime universe at the end
Mhm.
of the episode, and obviously it's only episode 4 that we're going to be watching next week. So obviously he's not going to get killed or anything. So he's going to get out of this situation somehow.
Yes.
Um, and we can only assume he's going to then interact with, again, the prime version of Harcourt, and he's going to try to interact with her the same way that he is interacting with the
Correct.
alt
Yeah, I
the alt
have a
Harcourt,
funny
and it's
feeling
not going to
too.
work. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see which universe figures out that he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be doing
Who he
things
is.
he's gonna be doing things in the prime universe, and they're gonna go, why are you acting like this? And then they might start to suspect that he's from a different universe. But then in the alternate universe, eventually they're going to start to suspect, is there something? Because he's not going to have memories
Yeah.
with. Obviously, he and his brother and his dad somehow work together as this trio.
Hmm.
And again, like at the end when the brother destroys the helicopter and they come out and they have their little moment where they kind of shake hands. You can
Hmm.
see that the alt version of Chris or Peacemaker and his brother and his dad are some kind of a team, and something's
Yes.
going to happen. Something's going to happen where
I,
they're
I
going to
really
figure
think
out.
it has to do with the pills because his brother even mentioned it several
Could be,
times.
yeah. Asked about the pills, yeah, and he wasn't.
Yeah,
And he
I
saw them in
think
the drawer.
correct. And he thinks he's onto it. And within the Prime universe, Lee is saying that Harcourt drinks more than anyone there after the partying. Then talked about Chris knowing what she knows, that they were hanging out a lot lately.
Mhm.
But now things are a little weird, and Adrian talks about his love of spiders. And
Yeah, that's a weird. This is a weird character side they're taking with Vigilante with Adrian, to where he's pulling out these random animals. The last
the random
couple.
facts or trivia.
Well, and not even claiming to know things about them and then not knowing. Like he said something about owls in the first couple episodes, and he
And
didn't
now
really
it's
know.
about
Now it's spiders and
spiders. Yeah.
crows, and it's just this is a weird little character tick that they've added to Adrian. It's I don't know what the purpose of it is. I'm not sure if they're
I
just
think
trying to
this is
give
going
him
to
some
come
more.
out later on, which is kind of weird. But when Leah and Harcourt talk about Chris's love for her, Chris stayed with her when she was in a coma, apparently, during that time after last season. So he was with her and taking care of her. And Leah is saying that, you know, hey, Harcourt, you're a train wreck. And there is a thing there that Leah knows because she knows that Chris loves her. And she even knows that Harcourt has some sort of feelings for her. And Harcourt doesn't really realize it to some degree. And it all has to do with her issues with Flag and how Chris killed him, I think. I think she's battling that whole thing. And
yeah, it could be. That's interesting take on it, to where, again, that could be something that they okay. I can kind of see them doing that, having never even mentioned anything about her and Flag having a relationship in the first season. And now they're putting this into the second season.
They're retconning this into it to the point where it's like, oh, here.
Okay. And it's not the first thing they've retconned, so it wouldn't be out of character for them to do this. So okay, I mean, that could be that I could see that could be what we get by the end of the season, is that we do find out that the Prime Harcourt did have a relationship with Flag Jr. And okay, all right, we'll see how where it goes.
What about Flurry and his little thing about a superpowered duck that Economist has talked to his crew about?
That just goes back to that whole thing about I don't remember. I'd have to go back and rewatch.
Because someone else's bird blindness. Oh my God.
I don't remember. I don't remember Economists calling it a duck. I think Flurry called it. I think Flurry said something about, I wouldn't know if it was a duck. I wouldn't know the difference between a duck or an eagle. And but Economists, I don't think Economists ever said it was a duck. I don't think he ever said it was. He always did. And so it's just Flurry trying to put on Economist his, he doesn't want to get in trouble for messing up the op because he didn't realize there was a superpowered eagle in there. Well, I thought it was a duck. Well, yeah, because you have bird blindness, but it was funny that him trying to throw Economist under the bus about
that's literally what he was trying to do. But
and Economist Joan, like, I told you it was an eagle. No, you didn't. You said it was a duck. No, I said it was an eagle. You said it was a duck. So it's again, Tim Meadows is playing this part really, really well.
Like, you killed titties. You almost killed titties.
And that's just more of Flurry trying to cover his butt, doing that whole CYA kind of thing. And now they've got Rooker, so we're going to see what Rooker's going to bring to the table.
Well, the one thing I wanted to bring up, in the other world, we have the Sons of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Chris in our Prime world is all about peace because he's Peacemaker. So are these people doing things within peace, or are they trying to liberate themselves from whatever is going on? And
I don't think we know their ideology. We just know they're anti-government, whatever they are.
Yeah,
because they said they're going to blow up government buildings every week until their demands are met. So I don't know. I don't. The Sons of Liberty, I think, is going to be an interesting. That's just another subplot we're going to have to keep.
Same
an eye
thing
on.
with Cephanolol, and we don't know what that is too, because that was brought up.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of explosive, whatever chemical is. Yeah, so that's all stuff that, again, there's going to be things that Chris is not going to know about, that he's going to have to try to pretend to know about, like the cephanol. Well, is that a real word? And they just kind of looked at him strange, like he should know what that means. So that's what I'm saying is I'm not sure which universe is going to figure it out, but one of the universes is the alternate universe has got to at some point figure out that he's not their Chris.
That is true.
Now, of course, we don't know on the alternate universe's side of it whether they found the dimensional portals. We know that on the Prime universe side, they found the dimensional portals because they've said, because of, again, this goes back to Superman. What happened in Superman is that, or they talked about it, the dimensional rifts. They talked about Gotham in this season. That wasn't Superman, but still, there's that same kind of, we're seeing this same kind of idea of the Prime universe knows about these dimensional portals. And they're basically saying that if it's proven that Chris has one, he's going to end up going to jail forever just because he has it. So that's what they're attacking him for now, and possibly going to try to kill him.
But
So we'll see.
you've already mentioned one key character about, and honestly, we have not seen anything of Eagly within this particular episode.
Not this episode. Yeah, this episode we didn't, but we didn't spend a lot of time. We didn't spend any time in the house. You know, we
But-
just got Chris walking into the house. That's all.
And
That's
then
what I'm saying
we
is-
got Rooker's character, who is Red Street Wild, who is
Yeah, he's an eagle. He's an eagle hunter. That's all they
he's
call
an
him.
eagle hunter. Yeah,
Right. That's all we know about the character right now.
that's
But
all we know
haven't
about
seen-
the character.
Right. We haven't seen Eagly yet because, like I said, we didn't. That's what I'm saying is what I went back to, circle back to what we were talking about when Adebayo and Vigilante, and then wake up in that house. It must not be Chris's house because Eagly wasn't there.
Mm.
You know, so we're gonna have to see. Like I said, all we've got is Chris just walked into his house, and they're about to attack it. So
And we get this cool setup though with
Mhm.
both Red Street Wild, who is the Eagly hunter or eagle hunter, and then at the very end we get the reveal of another person that they brought in, who is Judo Master.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is amazing because now finally it's like, oh, after 3 episodes, we get the people that are in the opening credits scenes or the
like
dance.
we talked about last week. I didn't mean to spoil that for anybody last week when we talked about it. It was already kind of we knew he was going to come up at some point. So it was good to see them bring him up the very end of the episode and see how he's going to play into the future. So
Yeah, and then we the ending scene literally is Chris coming back from that other dimension and basically entering a lot of crap because they were approaching onto his house and everything. So
I'm assuming the next episode we're gonna get that cliffhanger resolved. Hopefully, we'll see.
I think so. That is why we're doing this episodically right now. So we get to go to that point and go like, oh, this is what happened. Okay, well, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And I really want to get into that. I didn't have anything from notes, but I only had one quote, and it was Leah saying, "I'm sorry, I just trapped in the Adrian vortex." That was regarding the conversation about Adrian after Harcourt is fearful about economists choking on his vomit in the bathtub.
That was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I've got nothing else. I'm good.
The only other thing would we have is our needle drops. So do you want to talk about those or should we just leave them in the comments?
Well, you've got them there. Let's go ahead and you said this song "Break It Out" by Ammo Track. That's the song that plays when Peacemaker gets his peace cycle. You know, and again, we talked about the fact that he sees a little kid who cries after the woman that shows him his breast, and he says for the first time he says that best dimension ever. So that was pretty cool. Though I don't know these bands or these songs, so it's pretty cool.
Yep. And then we got Dreamer from our long lost Ozzy Osbourne. So that was by Dreamer was recorded by Ozzy Osbourne. And the song by the recently late Ozzy Osbourne plays while Harcourt 2 and Peacemaker take a walk around the neighborhood. And it's their little, like, meet cute kind of scene.
Yeah, yeah. And then there at the end, we get Animal by Shining, when Peacemaker's there having a drink with his brother Kevin, there in the alternate universe. And of course, then he's going to leave that area and go back to his house in the Prime, the OG universe.
Yeah.
So
very
cool.
And there was a lot of stuff that was going on within the episode. If you guys have any thoughts, always give them in. Guess what? Your thoughts and send them our way. Anyhow, we're at that point in the podcast where we could do podcast recommendations. So Steve, do you have any recommendations? Anybody that you are listening to or you highly recommend?
Just the normal that we always, anything from Podcastica is great. If you've been enjoying the Hulu Alien Earth TV series, Podcastica has a great podcast about it, as well as TV Podcast Industries is also talking about that. The Daryl Dixon show starts back this weekend. So tomorrow will be a big. We're recording this for everybody that doesn't know. We're recording this on Saturday, August 6th. The Daryl Dixon show comes back tomorrow, September 7th. Did I say August? September 7th, September 6th. Daryl Dixon comes back September 7th. That's tomorrow. So they'll be starting up their coverage of that. So I'm excited to hear The Last of Us, the cast of us talking about Daryl Dixon. And I'm just excited again. Mark and I will both be on What's On Tonight as we record for the finale, the season finale of Dexter Resurrection.
Yep.
So be looking forward to that here in the next few days.
Yep. So look forward to that. There's a lot going on. Always go to podcastica.com for anything that you want, because there's a slew of podcasts out there, everybody. But Steve and I apparently have tracked on Peacemaker, and not a lot of people that we know are covering this. So I think TV Podcast Industries is doing Peacemaker as well.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, and Podcastica is not. So, but give Podcastica.com a little bit of love and follow that. And that's our little love for them. So follow them. Just go to podcastica.com. As well as, Adrenaline Cinema Podcast. You will be getting a new episode coming out from Lara and Billy with an IE, and that will be out this week, about the Mayfair Witches. Why do I say Wayfair Mitches? So it's Mayfair Witches. They're doing season 2, and they had an episode that they actually did. I put it out. You should have it by now. And then check that out. And then by that time, well, guess what? We'll have Vampire Lestat to talk about with the Vampcast for Adrenaline Cinema Podcast. For you to submit your feedback, well, we could be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcast player of choice. But if you wanted to send in any feedback, generally, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/panels2pixels. And usually I post an image, and all you have to do is put your comments down below. What's on Facebook is on Instagram. And if you want, you could easily record your thoughts or write out a regular email and send that to panels2pixels1@gmail.com. Panels is spelled out 2TO pixels and the number 1@gmail. And then we have a YouTube. So Panels to Pixels podcast. Subscribe, ring the bell, and then like what we're doing. And whatever you actually do comment, I will get information on. So I will put that out on the next episode. So with that, next week we'll be covering Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 4.
Whatever the title is. Yeah, I know you've got it somewhere, but that's fine.
Yeah,
it's not on IMDb yet. I just checked. So,
oddly enough,
the title's not there yet. So,
well, with that, I just want to thank everyone for listening. I'm Mark,
and I'm Steve,
and this was Panels to Pixels podcast, and we'll see you on the next panel. Bye bye.
Good night.